should say. This is episode 2 of the Songwriter Station with me, Johnny Amos. First of all, big hello to any new subscribers out there, nice one. Today we're going to be looking at the relationship between top-line writing and bottom-line writing. Now somebody asked me the other day, they said, what is songwriting? If you were to define what songwriting is, how would you define it? And I said, it's very clear and it's very simple. It's a decision-making process. Now that could mean that you're, the amount of questions that you ask yourself while you're composing, subconsciously or consciously. Where do I go from this chord? Should I go from this chord to this chord? After that, should I go to this chord? After that, should I go where? Well, after the first chorus, where should I go? How do I get into the chorus, into the second verse? How's the top line going to go? What should the words be? All these questions, right? It's a decision-making process that determines how you compose and how your song ends up. Now, the two most critical elements to bear in mind, right? The ability to create something memorable and the ability to detect something memorable. Now, if you're a creative person, right, you're a creative person, right? You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't a songwriter or interested in songwriting, which means that you're a creative person. Now, the right-hand side of your brain is the creative side of your brain, right? The left-hand side is the more about logical thinking and reasoning. Now, the ability to create comes from there. The ability to detect if something's memorable comes from here. Now, those are the two key things you need to remember when it comes to top-line writing, right? Now, most of us, when we write songs, either thrive off the inspiration of chords or melody, singing something over the top of something that we're hearing, or just playing it, right? Maybe you're in a band and one of you comes up with playing the chords, and the other one, somebody else in the band comes up with the singing, right? That makes the chord guy a bottom-line writer and the singer a top-line writer. Now, it doesn't always work that way, of course. Sometimes you get producers or DJs who submit instrumental tracks, right, to other people. That makes them bottom-line writers. They're coming up with the sequence of chords behind the song. And the people that receive those would be the top-line writers, and they play the CDs and they'll sit there and they'll come up with something and sing something over the top of something. That's top-line writing. There's a hell of a lot more to it than that, but fundamentally that's the difference, right? So let's just take a very kind of simple bottom line, right? So I'll take the chords C, G, A minor, F. Let's just take that as our bottom line, right? You can come up with anything on top of that which will make your top line melody, right? And anything in any genre as well. So my right hand here, I'm playing on the beat, right? And the left hand is playing the off beat. Here we go again. And anything will fit over the top of this within reason. No, I won't hesitate no more, no more. This cannot wait. I'm yours. Now that's pop music, right? It's also reggae music. It fits. Here comes a rock song. Can live with or without you. I can live with or without you. Oh, that's a rock song and that still fits. Same bottom line. Let's think of something more current. Something dancing. Carry my, no you can't read my poker face. That fits. You could have movie soundtracks that can be written to a bottom line like this, something like this. Never ending story. Okay, I don't know why I picked that last song. I used to love that movie as a kid. Anyway, well, I still do. So yeah, the point is that any top line from any genre pretty much can fit with a bottom line as simple as that, right? It's the things you do after that determine its genre. But when it comes to the writing on the basic level, it can work like that, right? Now, so let's take those chords, right? And let's do a bit of top line writing, because by the end of this video we'll have created a top line to fit with those chords, right? So let's take those piano chords, right? There's lots of different ways that you can do top line writing. One of the ways that I like to use, I'm going to teach you about 3 different ways, by the way, during the course of these episodes, but one of the ways I choose is just using a piano to come up with melodies. So I'll play the bottom line, I'll loop it, play it in the software, and then I'll come up with a piano line on top, right? And that's how very often you do top line writing. You can just do it by singing or by however means. I'm going to teach you a real cool way actually in a couple of episodes. But anyway, so let's just play the chords and we're going to come up with a top line. We're going to come up with some, let's just say 3 simple words. I love you, right? That's going to be our top line that we're going to try and write with these chords. I love you just because I know it's the biggest common denominator in the world. Loads of pop songs are about loving people, so let's just come up with something that fits with that, right? Okay, so let's loop the chords and let's try and come up with something. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. That could be a melody. That could be a melody, not so good, but something more memorable, something more simple as well. Something like... something like that. So I love you and I love you and I love you. Oh, something like that. That could be a rock song like that. Let's stick a rock beat behind it. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, let's make a rock song out of it. I love you and I love you. I love you and I love you and I love you. Oh, it's melody again. Take it down an octave, see how it sounds. Okay, so that's just that bottom line, right? We can make something else completely different out of that. But let's stick with the same melody, right? We've got our melody. So the I love you and I love you and... Okay, this something more with a kind of ballady sound. You could go with a you and I love you and I love you. Oh. Right, okay, so that's a very, very basic top line, right? And how it fits into a song. Now, of course, you could complete that by, writing a verse and sticking something else with it, but ultimately you come up with the most important part of the song, the most important ingredient, which is the hook, right? There's something else I'm going to be talking about on later videos about hooks. But that's the basics, the relationship between bottom line writing and top line writing. That's how to fuse those two things together. And then it's up to you to detect what is good enough. I didn't tell you what I mean by that, right? I know tons of bands, right, that will pick their set list and I'll say, oh, are you playing such and such a song? And they'll go, oh no, that's not in the set. I'll go, why is it not in the set? It's your best song, why aren't you playing it? And that's their lack of ability to detect what they've got and how good it is. That's a very, very important part of songwriting. Not just the ability to create, the ability to detect. Two very, very different art forms. It took me years to understand it. Right, okay, so that's some of the basics for you of top line and bottom line writing. Next we're going to be looking at impact writing, which is a structure for creating very, very catchy bottom lines, okay? Catch you again next time. Cheers. Bye.